and welcome to Miss Moats' online library. I have a fabulous story for us to read today. It's all about a barnyard animal who thinks that he can drive a tractor. Before we get started, what are some of the barnyard animals that you can think of? That's right. We know that there can be cows, chickens, horses, and pigs on a farm, as well as many others. We're going to read about a few today. So let's take a look at the cover of our book. Okay, what are some important things that we can find on the cover of our book? I'm looking for two, particularly from this story. That's right, we can find our author and our title of our book. This book is called Duck on a Tractor by David Shannon. Duck on a Tractor by David Shannon. Down on the farm, Duck sometimes got wild ideas. One day, he decided he could ride a bike, so he did. I bet I can drive a tractor, he said. The other animals weren't so sure, but they all said, well, if he can ride a bike, maybe he can drive a tractor too. What are some other animals that you see on this page? Great job. We see a chicken, a cow, and there's even a cat hiding on the fence. Duck climbed on the tractor and looked around. He pushed some pedals and wiggled a metal stick, but nothing happened. Then a shiny little piece of metal by the steering wheel caught his eye. He pulled it out, he pushed it in, then he turned it. All of a sudden, the tractor shook and coughed and rumbled. It began to move. What do you think he found that could make the tractor move? We think it was a key? At first, it moved very slowly, and it jerked a lot, but it was fun. Duck drove around the barnyard until he got the hang of it. Then he stopped in front of the other animals. "Climb on, everybody," shouted Duck. Dog was first. He jumped right up next to Duck. "Woof," said Dog, but what he thought was, "We are going for a ride." To everyone's surprise, Cow clambered on next. "Moo," said Cow, but what she thought was, "This is the silliest thing I've ever done." Pig and Pig took a seat in the back. "Oink," said Pig and Pig, but what they thought was, "This sure beats walking." So what other animals do we see? See all of the animals that decided to ride with Duck. We see Pig and Pig, and Dog, and Cow. Cow does look a little silly on the front. Then came Chicken, Mouse, and Goat. "Squawk," said Chicken, but what she thought was, "Last one on is a rotten egg." "Squeak," said Mouse, but what she thought was, "I can see everything from up here." "Ma," said Goat, but what he thought was, "I'm hungry. Does the garbage truck have a drive-through window?" Chicken looks like he's going for a ride, and Goat already has some trash in his mouth. Did you know that goats can eat trash whenever they're hungry? Up next were Horse and Cat. Cat jumped up gracefully onto the tractor. Horse, not so much. "Meow," said Cat, but what she thought was, "I was going to take a nap, but this should be very interesting." "Nay," said Horse, but what he was thinking was, "I'd rather walk." Horse is maybe a little big for the tractor. The only one left on the ground was Sheep. "Bah," said Sheep, but what she thought was, "This is too dangerous." "Get on, Sheep," shouted everyone, but Sheep wouldn't budge, so Duck started driving away without her. "Wait," cried Sheep, "don't leave me here all alone." She ran after the tractor and took a flying leap onto it. "Quack," yelled Duck, but what he thought was, "Woohoo!" In this picture, we can see Sheep flying across the sky to get on the tractor with all the other animals. Has anyone ever seen a sheep fly? Because I sure haven't. Duck steered the tractor down the lane and out onto the main road. And before long, they were driving right through the middle of town. It was lunchtime, so most people were in the diner. They all looked up when Duck and the other animals passed by the big window. What would you do if you were in a diner and you saw a bunch of barnyard animals riding on a tractor? That would be so interesting. A little boy named Edison was having lunch with his grandma. Did you ever, Grandma gasped. But what she thought was, a duck on a tractor? That's impossible. That's totally awesome, Edison shouted. But what he thought was, no one's going to believe this. Marcine, the waitress, looked up from her pad and noticed Cat. Heavens to Betsy, she exclaimed. But what she thought was, I like cats. Do we see everybody's surprised faces? What would you think? Would you think it would be impossible or totally awesome? Let's see what Deputy Bob thinks. Deputy Bob blabbered, if that don't beat all, but what he thought was, how am I going to explain this to the sheriff? A man named Otis chimed in. I must be seeing things, but what he thought was, oh no, not again. Holy cow, hollered Manny the cook, but what he thought was, holy cow. Manny usually just said exactly what he thought. The mayor almost choked on his pie. Good gravy, he sputtered, but what he thought was, those pigs are even fatter than I am. Corky just whistled, but what he thought was, that duck is smarter than he looks. Gwen came out of the restroom. Would you look at that, she exclaimed, but what she thought was, I can't see a thing without my glasses. Farmer Odell observed, that's a dang nice tractor, but what he thought was, hey, that's my tractor. He decided he'd better go after it and ran out the door. Everyone else ran out too and chased after him. We see everybody running out of the diner. They're all going to go chase the animals on the tractor. By this time, Duck had turned onto the next street. The tractor shuddered to a stop. Duck tried turning the shiny little piece of metal again. Nothing happened. What do you think happened? Why do you think the tractor stopped? Let's keep reading and find out. I don't know much about spelling, said Dog, but I think that E means for the end of our ride. Sheep declared. You know, she said, I think we might just get in trouble for this. Let's get out of here, yelled Duck, just as Farmer Odell and everyone from the diner came around the corner. Did you know that E means end of the ride? I think it also means empty. They ran out of gas. Everyone looked surprised. I think I would be surprised too to see a tractor in the middle of town. Everyone burst out laughing. Nah, they all said. It couldn't have been. It was an optical illusion, exclaimed Otis. Farmer Odell said he must have left his tractor running by accident. I guess that explains it, Deputy Bob agreed. And they all went back to the diner to finish their lunch. I don't think it was just an illusion. I think there was a duck driving a tractor. And no one ever admitted that day on that they had seen a cow, a goat, a cat, a dog, a sheep, a chicken, a horse, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a tractor. And that is the end of our story. What did you guys think about it? I'm going to tell you some of my feelings about it. I think that I would be extremely surprised to see a duck driving a tractor with all of his friends going down the middle of town. I thought that a tractor was used on a farm, not for farm animals to drive. So now that we have read our story, do you think that you would be surprised, excited, scared, What do you think you would feel whenever a duck was driving a tractor? Very good. I think that I would also be excited to see a duck driving a tractor. It would be pretty cool to see him riding down the middle of town. I think it also could be a little funny to see all of Duck's friends on the tractor with him. If you could pick a farm animal to ride on a tractor with you, what would it be? Would it be a horse, a goat, a sheep, a cat, a dog, a pig, or what other animal can you think of that lives on a farm? Very good. My favorite farm animal is a pig, so I think that I would like for a pig to ride on the tractor with me. A horse would be pretty good too, or maybe even a cow. I like that the cow had a bell on, so then you'd be able to hear whenever cow was coming. Thank you guys for listening into our story today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Maybe next time we can find out what else Duck can drive. Thanks, guys.